Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.
You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 15th of March. India's Supreme Court agrees to hear pleas seeking stay on CAA rules. IMF slams Pakistan over declaration of all IMF targets been achieved. And World Sindhi Congress protests at UNHRC accuses Pakistan of genocide in Sindh. And now for all the details. India's Supreme Court on Friday agreed to hear a bunch of pleas seeking a stay on the Citizenship Amendment Act Rules 2024, which opened implementation of CAA granting speedy citizenship to non-Muslim refugees from neighbouring Muslim-majority countries. Mentioning the matter for urgent, advocate for petitioner Kapil Sibal said when CAA was passed in 2019 and the stay was not granted as there was no rules, but now rules have been notified, and if citizenship is granted, it will be impossible to reverse. However, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta said none of the petitioners has any locus to question the grant of citizenship.
जब गवर्नमेंट ने ये सीएए एक्ट सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट एक्ट पास किया है तब से हमने ये चैलेंज किया है और 2019 से ये पेंडिंग है। जब बीच में सुनवाई हो गया गवर्नमेंट ने बोला है अभी स्टे का कोई जरूरत नहीं है क्योंकि अभी हमने इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं कर रहे हैं, अभी रूल्स नोटिफाई नहीं कर रहे हैं। बट इलेक्शन से पहले अभी 2 दिन पहले गवर्नमेंट ने ये नोटिफाई किया है। अभी एक स्टे एप्लीकेशन सुनने के लिए जरूरत है क्योंकि अभी एक बार सिटीजनशिप दे चुका है, ये रूल्स के हिसाब से दे दिया है तो वो रिवर्ट नहीं कर सकते हैं।
Meanwhile, refugees from Pakistan and Afghanistan staged a protest against leaders of India Alliance over their statements opposing the implementation of the Citizenship Amendment Act. Expressing vehement opposition to the statements, the protesters said they had to flee Pakistan due to atrocities against them, and now when the government is giving them Indian nationality, then why opposition bloc leaders are being hostile?
शरणार्थी परिवार जब हम आए थे अपनी पीड़ा लेके सोनिया गांधी को हमने ये लेटर लगाया था कि हमारी वीजा और हमारी सुरक्षा करें, हमें पाकिस्तान में हमारा अत्याचार हो रहा है, ये उनके नाम से, और हमें नागरिकता मिल रही है और हमें नागरिकता देने से इनकार कर रहे हैं। और रही बात, ये परिवार पीड़ित पाकिस्तान से आए हुए हैं, उनके साथ अत्याचार हुआ है, अब हम कहाँ जाएंगे? हम तो मरना या मंजूर करेंगे, हमें पाकिस्तान नहीं जाना।
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi accepted the invitation of his Bhutanese counterpart Shering Tobgay to visit Bhutan next week. India's Foreign Ministry said on Friday after the two leaders held bilateral meeting in New Delhi. In a statement, the ministry said both leaders reviewed the progress in various areas of bilateral partnership, including connectivity, energy, hydropower cooperation, people-to-people exchanges, and development cooperation. They reaffirmed their commitment to further strengthen the special and unique India-Bhutan friendship, it added. Tobgay, who is on his first overseas visit after assuming office, also conveyed his deep appreciation for India's role as a reliable, trusted and valued partner in Bhutan's developmental priorities. The IMF on Friday expressed displeasure over Pakistan's verdict that it had materialized all structural benchmarks, quantitative and indicative targets even prior to scrutinizing and completion of the review by the fund staff. IMF Mission Chief Nathan Porter said the country's finance ministry had announced its verdict before the completion of the review process under $3 billion standby arrangement program, which they had just started, and would come up with their prescriptions only after analyzing the official data of various sectors of the national economy. The IMF review mission grilled the finance ministry team in the maiden session of the review talks, and everyone seemed clueless about how to respond, the publication stated. Pakistan and the IMF kick-started parleys for the completion of the second review and striking an arrangement on the Memorandum of Economic and Financial Policies, after which the release of the last tranche of $1.1 billion will be presented before the fund's executive board in the second week of April 2024. Activists from the World Sindhi Congress protested outside the United Nations Human Rights Council headquarters as they accused Pakistan of being on a mission of genocide of Sindhi. A report.
Highlighting the atrocities of Pakistan on the people of Sindh, activists of World Sindhi Congress, a rights advocacy group, on Thursday held protest outside the UNHRC headquarters in Geneva. In the protest held on the sidelines of the 55th session of UNHRC, protesters emphasized on atrocities including enforced disappearances, extrajudicial killings, persecution of religious minorities, and said situation doesn't seem to improve. They pointed out that these human rights atrocities occur with utter impunity, leaving victims with no path to justice. Secretary General of the World Sindhi Congress, Lakhu Luhana, also highlighted the Pakistan-sponsored actions in the region and said it has continued unabatedly against the Sindhi people. He accused Islamabad of being on a mission of genocide of Sindhis and appealed for intervention from international community and the United Nations.
World Sindhi Congress is today having this protest during the 55th session of the UN in Geneva. The reason is that the persecution, the suffering, the ruthlessness of state of Pakistan and its agencies that continues unabated without impunity. They are on a mission of genocide of Sindhi people.
Sri Lanka on Monday informed that the island nation has received a stock of bomb squad from the Chinese military, which the island nation said would be of much use to its armed forces. The equipment was gifted to Sri Lanka under the Chinese military grant scheme during a formal ceremony. The equipment will be used primarily for screening, bomb detection and disposal, according to army sources in Colombo. Beijing's enhanced military engagement in the region remains a cause for concern in New Delhi, even as India and Sri Lanka maintain long-standing defence ties and currently have an annual defence dialogue at the level of Secretary to the Defence Ministry. Nepal's Foreign Ministry on Thursday confirmed that 7 more Nepali nationalists serving in the Russian army have died, taking the death toll to 19. The ministry, however, did not mention the date and place where they were killed.
Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.